we're back again with another lit
banger. What's good, you guys? We're back again with another installment of our queer survival guide.
Yes.
Just in time for the holidays, you guys.
Yes.
We're gonna be doing a video, and you wanna tell them what it is?
Yeah, it's going to be centered around mental health and going home to toxic family or family that's not necessarily supporting of you, and having to deal with that stress of what that looks like during the holiday season.
Yes. So we have some like tips and like some just things that to think about, I guess, when you're dealing with this kind of thing. So we've all been there. A lot of us have been there.
Oh, absolutely. We've both definitely been there.
Yeah. So it's just kind of like how to do that and how to put yourself first and take care of yourself.
Yeah.
All right. So number one would be, you want to do it?
Sure. All right, so the first thing would have to be considering your pros and your cons. Like, is it going to be safe going home?
Yeah.
Is it going to be hurting your mental health, right? Like, at the end of the day, if you feel like your mental health is going to suffer more than it's actually going to help things, maybe it's time for you to think about not necessarily going home for the holidays and figuring out alternative options, which we'll get into later in the video. But yeah, I think it's just really being mindful of what that will look like going home for the holidays and what that's going to do to your mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next thing is to make sure that you're able to recognize harassment and stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
So like obviously the whole point of these terrible interactions is that likely there's some people or even one person in your family that does not agree with your sexuality.
Yeah.
You've recently come out maybe, and people haven't had their processing time, and people might treat you poorly. Or they might belittle you or put you down in front of your entire family or alone, but either way it's going to have some negative repercussions towards you. So it's kind of like being able to recognize, you know, what is them just not being totally there yet, like the difference between that and the difference between them like actually like harassing you. Like you have to be able to stand up for yourself, because if you let them do it, it creates a situation where they can. But if you do not let them do it and you kind of put your foot down, you're like, no, I won't let you talk to me that way. Like, or like, you know, there's a polite and kind way to be like, I'm sorry, but I will not allow you to like talk to me like that and treat me with such disrespect. Right? It's like you can still respect somebody but not understand their opinion or the way they choose to live their life. You know what I mean? And you can explain that to your relatives. I've had to do that before. I've had to be like, you know, we don't have to meet in the middle and understand each other, and you don't have to understand why I live my life the way I do. But all I want is for you to just be able to respect me and be able to like, and just be able to like separate the two things. I guess it's hard, but I think it's just being able to recognize that and not allowing someone to, and just kind of cowering when they treat you poorly.
So the next one to think about is, if you are deciding that you are going to go home, maybe it might make sense to reach out and connect first with those family members that are actually supportive of you and that are in your corner, because that's really going to help you get through the holidays and recognize, yes, this is horrible to be in this situation where like family is not really accepting, but being able to recognize, no, there actually are people that are accepting of me within the family, and gravitating more towards them rather than gravitating towards the people that are going to put you down and make you feel really stressed out mentally. I think that's a big piece. And yeah, like I think it's one of those situations where you really have to be mindful of keeping all of the positivity as close to you as possible. Another one to add is to take breaks, like adding on to what T was saying, taking breaks from challenging relatives as well. It's like, you know, if you're at a Christmas dinner, for example, like you don't have to spend that 20 minutes catching up with that like really nasty relative. You can just say a quick hello and try to like prevent there from being a really bad situation, like prevent there from being an argument. You know, if you know that they're going to bring it up inevitably, and they do every time, it's like, don't have that 20-minute conversation with them. Take a break from them. Try to surround yourself with the people who do have your back and that do support you, if there are any people that do, and like try to avoid the confrontational like conversations you might have with these people. If you know it's going to happen, just like try to make it short and sweet with those people and move along. That way you can try to like avoid getting yourself into those like really nasty kind of conversations that happen around the holidays. And then the next one I have is a big one too, and I think it's really easy to get kind of lost in like the whole stress of everything, but like recognizing that like you're not alone, right? Like you're not the only person that's going through this. There are many people that are also in the same situation as you. And I think it's really easy. Like I know for myself, when I was going home for the holidays and I knew that it was kind of a toxic environment and everyone wasn't quite on board, it almost felt like it was like I was like the only person going through this. And I felt like, why is it that everybody else that's gay and out, their family is like on board and they're okay with everything? And it's like,
true.
It's not true. Everyone struggles. A lot of people struggle. I shouldn't say everyone, but a lot of people do struggle, and you're not alone. And I think it's one of those things that's kind of like a comforting thought to know, like, no, there's other people out there that are in the same situation as you and are also struggling just as much as you are.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, okay, so the next one that, like, one of the last ones that's, like, really important to think about is that, like, the holidays don't have to be this, like, traditional, like, blood relative thing that, like, society has kind of made them out to be. It's, like, as queer people, like, we have to evolve so much, and like we are always growing, evolving, and changing, and like a lot of us, and like one of the deepest roots of like queer culture is like having a chosen family. Because back in the day it was like no one's family accepted anyone, so they like all went out on their own and like created their own families. And it's like we have that tenacious like vibe of being able to like get out there, and like we meet beautiful people who we like align with, and like those people can be people that you create memories with and like, create your own like sense of like holiday like spirit and like whatever with. It doesn't have to be with like your parents who are terrible to you and treat you terribly. Like at the end of the day, the holidays and like celebrations and like things like that, they're about love and like thankfulness and like giving and spending time with people that mean a lot to you, and like that kind of that wholesome vibe. And you're not going to get that wholesome vibe necessarily from people who don't agree with your way of life and people who maybe think you're less of a human for it, you know. You're going to get that from people who appreciate you and love you for who you are. So it's like you can have that with your friends too. You can have that with your chosen family.
I agree with that. But the one thing also that I do want to say is that I do think that society does put a lot of pressure around the fact that like you have to be with people during the holidays.
Yeah.
And like, for example, I have a friend who their family situation is so toxic, and they're a little bit of an introvert, and they're like, honestly, the best thought of a Christmas for me is to just stay in the house, be alone, and just hang out. And like, that's okay too. Society sometimes makes people feel like they have to be around people, and if you don't, you're a loser, or like, what are you doing? That's sad. That's like, whatever. Like, do what makes you feel comfortable. And if that means just taking the Christmas day to just stay in the house, watch some of your favorite Christmas maybe movies, eat some really good food, and just like have time to yourself where you can like mentally reset, that's okay too.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like not feeling, I feel like a lot of the holidays sometimes gets like, it turns into like this like FOMO situation where everyone's just like trying to like be like, I have the best family, I have the best, like I have so many people in my corner. It's like, that's not what it's about. It's about like love and like
doing what
even
makes
if
you feel.
You're loving yourself, like that's okay too.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, the holiday season should be about taking care of yourself and taking care of those who actually matter, and those who have a positive influence on your life, and showing them like your love and care and all those things.
So anyways, guys, we hope that these tips are some great tips that will help you. We know a lot of people are slowly starting to get into the whole holiday season where
and it might be stressful.
Things are starting to get a little bit stressful. So we thought this would be a great topic to kind of cover for everyone, because it's one of those things where, like, it might be nice to see this before you go off and you are with family that might be stressing you out. And anyways, guys, if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we're dropping lit
bangers.
And on that note, we will see you guys in the next video. We love you. Bye.